English Grammar Unit 2 Conditionals and I wish by Javier Martín and Guillermo Cascales. Conditional sentences are statements discussing known factors or hypothetical situations and their consequences. Complete conditional sentences contain a conditional clause, often referred to as the if clause, and the consequence. For instance, I would travel around the world if I won the lottery. If you set your mind to a goal, you will eventually achieve it. There are 4 types of conditional sentences. It's important to use the correct structure for each of these different conditional sentences because they express varying meaning. Pay attention to verb tense when using different conditional modes. Use a comma after the if clause when the if clause precedes the main clause. Each conditional expresses a different degree of probability that a situation will occur or would have occurred under certain zero conditional for general truths, the first for high probability statements, the second for situations that are not likely to happen in the future, and the third describe how things could have been if something different had happened. Zero conditional. Zero conditional sentences express general truth situations in which one thing always causes another. When you use a zero conditional, you're talking about a general truth rather than a specific instance of something. Consider the following example. If you don't brush your teeth, you get cavities. When people smoke cigarettes, their health suffers. There are a couple of things to take note of in the above sentences in which the zero conditional is used. First, when using the zero conditional, the correct tense to use in both clauses is the simple present tense. A common mistake is to use the simple future tense. For example, when people smoke cigarettes, their health will suffer. That's incorrect. Secondly, notice that the word if and when can be used interchangeably in the zero conditional sentences. This is because the outcome will always be the same, so it doesn't matter if or when it happens. First conditional. First conditional sentences are used to express situations in which the outcome is likely, but not guaranteed, to happen in the future. For instance, if you rest, you will feel better. If you set your mind to a goal, you will eventually achieve it. Note that we use the simple present tense in the if clause and the simple future tense in the main clause, that is, that clause that expresses the likely outcome. This is how we indicate that under a certain condition, as expressed in the if clause, a specific result will likely happen in the future. The second conditional. Second conditional sentences are useful for expressing outcomes that are completely unrealistic or will not likely happen in the future. Consider the examples below. If I inherited $1 billion, I would travel to the moon. If I were 18, I could drive a car. Notice the correct way to structure second conditional sentences is to use the simple past tense in the if clause and an auxiliary modal verb, for example could, should, would, or might, in the main clause, the one that expresses the unrealistic or unlikely outcome. The following picture illustrates a couple of the common mistakes people make when using the second conditional. Never use was, where it must be used in the subjunctive mood. If I were you, I would do the same.
The third conditional is used to talk about an impossible condition, temporarily located in the past, which consequences also happened in the past. To form the third conditional, we use the past perfect for the condition and a modal verb, followed by the perfect infinitive. The perfect infinitive is formed by the auxiliary verb have and the participle. Some examples are: if I had known you were so sad, I would have come to visit you. Or, if I hadn't forgotten that it was your birthday, I would have bought you a present. In a formal context, we would use another type of conditional that is less used than the conditionals that are formed with if or unless. These conditionals are formed with as long as, provided that, and providing that. Some examples of each one are: you can go to the party as long as you come back before 10 p.m. I want him to come, providing that he will behave. She is going to travel to France, provided that everything goes as planned. We use I wish or if only structures in order to express desires. There are three different verbal structures for three different uses of I wish and if only. All the sentences that are formed with I wish or if only follow almost the same structure. They all start with I wish or if only and the subject, but we use different verbal tenses depending on when the situations we are talking about happen. If it happens in the present, we use the subjunctive, which is formed with the past simple. For example, I wish I were stronger. With a situation that happened in the past, we use the past perfect. For instance, if only my dog had behaved. And if the situation will happen in the future, we use a modal verb, such as would or could, followed by an infinitive. I wish my dad could be here for New Year's Eve. There is one more use of I wish or if only. It is used to complain about something or someone. Its structure is formed by I wish or if only, a subject, and would with an infinitive. For example, if only my dad would come to pick me up.